The PlayStation 5 reveal event happened yesterday, and man, there was so much to delve into with all of the announcements from that conference. I can't get to everything in this video, but there are some tidbits that I do want to go over, some more information regarding updates on PlayStation 5 titles. And the majority of this stuff I want to cover is stuff that wasn't covered on the conference itself. It's about the games that were revealed on the conference and some other stuff, but we've got some more details on some of the games coming to the PS5. So first of all, one of the major games that is coming to the PlayStation 5 is, of course, the Demon's Souls PlayStation 5 Remake, and that trailer was incredible. Now, I imagine that this game is relatively far along since we've been hearing rumblings about Bluepoint working on something massive for quite a while, and bear in mind that Bluepoint's last game release was Shadow of the Colossus all the way back in early 2017. It has been 3.5 years since they put that game out. So one would have to think that this game is relatively far along. When the Demon's Souls PlayStation 5 Remake showed up during Sony's livestream focusing on titles headed on the new console, all we initially had to go by was a trailer offering a peek at how the game will look on the new system. The PlayStation blog has offered some other details about the game regarding the announcement for the PlayStation 5, and the Demon's Souls Remake will support two different graphics modes that people can choose from. Either you can play it with emphasis on the graphical fidelity, or you can play it with an emphasis on the performance. I think this should already speak to the fact that if you were expecting to play every game on the PlayStation 5 at 4K 60 frames per second, you're gonna be in for a disappointment. That's just not gonna happen. Obviously, the offering of various graphical settings is definitely advantageous. That's reminiscent of something that PC does. It would be nice if we had more options rather than just two different graphics mode. On PC, you can really fine-tune everything and tailor the experience exactly how you want to. Probably for optimization's sakes, it's easier to just offer two different graphics modes. It's better than nothing, but again, it speaks to the fact that if you're going into the release of the PlayStation 5 just thinking that it's going to be a slam dunk 4K 60 FPS on every game, really, temper your expectations. I told you guys that the 8K stuff was a gigantic meme. If you thought that God of War 2 was going to be played at 8K, I just don't know what to tell you. That is just very, very foolish to think like that. However, Demon's Souls Remake is definitely going to be a game that it's very beneficial to have two different graphics modes, because I remember playing Bloodborne, and that game was just incredibly annoying to play at sub 30 frames per second. Yes, they'll tell you it was 30 FPS. That game was not a consistent 30 FPS. Let's be real about that, and let's be frank about that. That game was not a consistent 30 FPS. Who knows what the case will be with Demon's Souls? Maybe it will be a case where it does run at 4K, and if you put it on the performance mode, it will run at 60 FPS, and they'll just tone down the visual fidelity of the game. Either way, it's not going to be optimal visuals along with optimal frame rates. With this game, you are going to have to choose from one or the other, but I have a lot of faith in Bluepoint Games in terms of doing the remake and having the game on the PlayStation 5 run well. I think they're going to do a really great job with it, and I think this is going to be one of the standout PS5 exclusives at this point. Still an exclusive, and Demon's Souls is an IP owned by Sony, so obviously it's up to them on whether or not they want to put it on other platforms. I guess it could be a possibility with them opening the door for games like Horizon to be on PC. That's something that has remained to be seen, and I do think the game is going to be exclusive for at least the foreseeable future, as it's definitely going to be one of the key titles that will be a PlayStation 5 system seller. I can easily see that, because Demon's Souls is one of those games that has that name value. Souls in general has that name value, and Demon's Souls is a game that so many people missed out on because it did come out all the way back in 2009. Souls isn't what it is in terms of its name value today to what it was back then, and also exclusively on the PlayStation 3, a lot of people just missed out on it because a lot of people domestically didn't have a PlayStation 3, and you just have to assume that a lot of people grew into becoming fans of Souls games and they can't go back and play Demon's Souls easily. And there's also that subsect of people that played Demon's Souls, love the game, and then now you're talking about a ground-up remake for the PlayStation 5 11 years later. Obviously, that's going to be incredibly exciting. Hopefully that is a PlayStation 5 launch title. Man, if there was one thing that disappointed me during yesterday's presentation, it's that we really have no idea what the launch games are gonna be. I'm hoping Ratchet & Clank, I'm hoping Demon's Souls, it looks like Spider-Man Miles Morales, but outside of that, are we gonna get other significant launch titles? That remains to be seen. I don't know if Horizon 2 is gonna be a launch title, Forbidden West, we'll see how that shakes up, but hopefully in the next month or two, we really get the ball rolling on having an idea on what we're gonna have on launch, because launch isn't that far away. It's 5 months away. I'm sure they have a general idea, but obviously the world situation right now, everything is in a little bit of flux, and I would much rather Sony get the dates completely assured than them announcing release dates and then, like they often do, delay games out of nowhere. I mean, look at a game like last generation Drive Club was scheduled for the PlayStation 4 launch, and then it was delayed right before launch for a goddamn year. If they end up doing that with Ratchet & Clank, my most anticipated PS5 game at this point, I am going to lose my S, and I do not want that to happen. Don't get me excited about it. Rather, find out what the release dates are exactly going to be and then announce your release dates. Look, I'm a little bit disappointed that I didn't get release dates, but if they need more time to figure out exactly what's going to drop on launch day, take your time and announce it then, because it's much better to do that than just get people excited about the launch, get them to pre-order, and then end up delaying games as well. Alright, moving on from that, as I mentioned, Spider-Man Maz Morales is one of those games that a lot of people were looking forward to, and I'm not a big fan of how Sony presented that game, because we were led to believe that it was going to be a full-fledged brand new title, but then there was conflicting reports coming out that it was going to be a DLC pack, then there was reports that it was going to be a Spider-Man PS4 remaster on PS5, and the expansion was going to be bundled in. Now we know, coming from Jason Schreier, new Spider-Man Maz Morales is not an expansion or enhancement or remaster, despite a Sony executive's comments this morning. A source tells Bloomberg News, nor is it Spider-Man 2, it is a brand new standalone game similar in scope to Uncharted Lost Legacy. So that makes a lot of sense. Still a little bit disappointing that it's not a full-fledged game, but I was thinking, like, Insomniac's working on Ratchet & Clank. I'm sure they have a team working on Spider-Man 2, but then I thought about it, how are they putting out Spider-Man Maz Morales this holiday, and then Ratchet & Clank is also super far along, and that might be coming out either this holiday as well or early 2021. That just didn't make a lot of sense to me. Now we've got some clarity that, okay, Maz Morales isn't a full-fledged $60 game by the looks of it. It is going to be a smaller title like a Lost Legacy. Lost Legacy was still a relatively lengthy game. You're talking about 6 to 8 hours of gameplay, so I'm still expecting Maz Morales to have a decent bit of gameplay, and how awesome was that trailer? That trailer was awesome. The music, the set pieces, I thought that trailer was fantastic. Honestly, from just a production standpoint, that was one of my favorite trailers at the show. I'm a hardcore Ratchet & Clank fan, so ultimately, that game being announced, that's going to be my standout. Demon's Souls, for a lot of you guys, I'm sure was the standout, and I'm sure for a lot of people, they did dig Spider-Man Maz Morales, and Horizon 2, who could forget about that, but Ratchet was the standout to me. Circling back to Maz Morales, this is a game that is going to be something that I hope is a little bit cheaper. I imagine that they are going to end up doing the bundle with Spider-Man and Maz Morales included, and they'll do that for like $60, including the City That Never Sleeps DLC. You get the upgrade, you get the expansion, you get all the content, but then also release this as a standalone game, maybe for $30 or $40, and that would be rather good. This isn't a game that can be marketed around the entire launch of the PlayStation 5, because inherently, if it is a smaller scope than the first Spider-Man game, and it's of the size of Uncharted Lost Legacy, well then, the entire promotion shouldn't be centered around this, but I think having Spider-Man, having Spidey, having an IP like that for the launch of the PS5, man, that is very advantageous to have as an accessory piece to the PlayStation 5, and maybe me calling this as an accessory piece is a little bit of a disservice to it. Nonetheless, surround this game with a Ratchet & Clank and Demon's Souls remake, and I think that's a stellar launch. Look, if we get Maz Morales, Ratchet & Clank, and a combination of Horizon and Demon's Souls, or God forbid we get all 4, I don't think that's likely. I think hopefully we just get 3 games at launch. I would be very happy with that, because I've said it before, I love the PlayStation 4 as a platform, but goddamn, I got that damn console on launch, and that console's launch lineup was absolutely an abomination. It was terrible. But it does look like with the PlayStation 5, fingers crossed, the launch lineup is going to be a little bit more compelling with all the titles they announced. I'm hoping some of these make it to launch day, at least 2 to 3 of them. Killzone Shadowfall and Knack did me dirty on the PlayStation 4, and I kind of like Shadowfall, but goddamn, buying Knack on day 1 was not a good idea. So I'm hoping the PlayStation 5 is going to be a little bit better. Lastly, do want to quickly note that Control is coming to the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. More information is to come at a later date. Publisher 505 Games and developer Remedy Entertainment will release Control for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, something that a lot of us had anticipated with a lot of the verbiage that Remedy and 505 were using. After a secretive agency in New York is invaded by otherworldly threat, you become the new director struggling to regain control. It's coming from developer Remedy Entertainment. The supernatural third-person action adventure will challenge you to master the combination of supernatural abilities, modifiable loadouts, and reactive environments while fighting through a deep and unpredictable world. I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was awesome. I thought the gameplay was stellar, and we knew the narrative was going to be strong. It's a Remedy Games title, and their narratives are always on point. It's always compelling. from that regard, but really, I thought the gameplay was just so fun, so rewarding, and just a blast to play. And I liked Alan Wake's gameplay, but Control was on another level in my opinion. The game looks amazing on PC, so to see it get a visual upgrade on the PlayStation 5 and the Series X, fingers crossed that it's free for the people that own it. Maybe that won't be happening, I don't know, but let's hope that it does make a very solid transition to the next generation platforms. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, as far as Demon's Souls PS5 Remake goes, it has 2 different graphics modes. Spider-Man Maz Morales is going to be a smaller game around the same scope to Uncharted Lost Legacy, and Control is coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.